We've got a 24-hour stay over for the youth in the mosque. We do one every holiday. And I'm like babysitting these.
Who's going to be the speaker?
Sheikh Ali's with us. He's brilliant. He's from West Brom.
If he's from West Brom, can we trust him?
Pardon?
You do this for the kids?
Every holiday we do it.
On a coach from the West Midlands heading to London for another protest about what's going on in Palestine, and some of our demands are obviously we want a ceasefire, immediate ceasefire, but also we want the government to call it what it is, a genocide, and we want Israel to stand trial for committing horrific genocide on a daily basis since October the 7th. This is just unprecedented. This is 3-4 months in. This coach not only packed, we had to send people away because we couldn't, we had too many people trying to get on this demonstration going to London. I think people are outraged, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're shocked about what's unfolding in Gaza, and people just feel that they're not being listened to by the political establishment. And what's interesting is the political establishment are talking now, beginning to talk about a ceasefire. Where are they? There's not one single council, not one MP who's attended any of the West Midlands rallies and demonstrations.
I'm here to protest what's happening in Gaza at the moment, and the West Bank as well. I mean, we've seen getting on for 30,000 people killed, including about 12,000 children. We've seen the use of Israel blockading and stopping aid and food getting into Gaza. We've seen the use of deliberate use of starvation, the deliberate bombing of hospitals, schools, the deliberate targeting of a civilian population, and the International Court of Justice is correct to identify this as what in their words potentially genocide. I think this is much more than potentially genocide. I think this is very clear and plain genocide, and with the situation in Rafah at the moment, with the Palestinian population concentrated as refugees living in Rafah, there's about 1.2 to 1.5 million of them have gathered in Rafah at the moment. This could turn into an even worse genocide with Israeli massacring a extremely densely populated area.
You guys, you've come from the West Midlands here to London. Why?
To support Palestine, to make a stand against Israel and their abuse of human rights, and just seeing the injustice, seeing the pain that is being caused while the world seems to, be totally silent. Horrendous.
Yeah, and I would say that even if we don't affect our government's actions, I think knowing that the people in Gaza appreciate what people around the world are doing, coming out for them and supporting them, knowing that they appreciate it is enough. It's good enough reason by itself. You know what I mean?
We just got off the coach. We're now going towards Hyde Park. Hopefully, we're going to head towards the Israeli embassy. We're going to be loud. I'd love it if we can actually get in and have a word with some Israeli officials and ask them why they're happy with murdering children.
What do we want? When do we want it? Now! Free
Palestine!
Free
Palestine!
Free
Palestine! And then it comes back again.
In our millions, in our billions. In our millions, in our billions. Stop bombing Gaza! Stop bombing Gaza! Stop bombing children! Stop bombing children! Stop bombing hospitals! Stop bombing hospitals!
Right, so I'm looking at your placard. Rishi Sunak, you're a waste man. Why is Rishi Sunak a waste man?
Rishi Sunak is the biggest waste man going. He calls himself a leader, but bear in mind he's got people in his own country who are starving, who are homeless, who are out here. Does he care about it? No, not at all. He's a waste man, and he's supporting this whole genocide. Because of him, America and Israel could go forward and carry on with the killing and the spreading of this genocide. Waste man. Pure waste man.
Right, so you're here on this Palestine demo today in London. Can you tell me why?
I'm here to basically protest for Palestine because I've been seeing what's going on. I've been following Friends of Al-Aqsa on Instagram, and it's just horrible. So many children, women, people all dying, and I feel like lots of people don't understand that this has been going on for ages. The first protest I went to, I was 5 years old. I'm now here again, 15 years old, having to fight for the same thing, and it breaks my heart that we have to keep on doing this just to be heard.
Numbers are picking up here in London, so we'll be marching towards the Israeli embassy, and hopefully we're going to be loud and angry. So we're marching today in London about Palestine and the genocide. Tell us why you're marching.
Well, we're standing here because we want a ceasefire, so we're standing in solidarity with Palestine. I think it's very important that we do unite together and stand up for what's right.
Gaza, don't you cry!
Free! Palestine! Free! You're here marching today in London. Can you tell us why?
We're supporting the Palestinians that are being massacred every single day. It never stopped for over 100 days. Thousands of kids have been murdered, massacred. Their families, their moms, everybody. We're here to support. We never sleep. We never stop thinking about them. We're always thinking about them. We're always with them. Our governments cannot do anything. Well, we're here to show and say that we support them. At least this is the least we can do.
I'm just fed up with our politicians not listening to us. It's quite clear with the amount of people that are on the street that we'd like our politicians to actually hear and do something about the fact that Gaza is just being bombed to smithereens, and it's not. I don't have the words to express it really, but what I'm watching to what I'm feeling is just unfathomable, and people need to just come out and experience and feel, I think, the devastation of humanity. It's very palpable when you come on the marches, and I want to be heard.
You're here today on the demonstration. Can you tell us why?
Right, we're Celtic supporters. We're Irish. We're Celtic supporters. Irish is a club that was founded from famine and oppression by immigrants driven from their country by an occupying force and hunger. We can identify with the Palestinians. In the 6 counties in the north of Ireland, we're still under occupation. We have been for 100 years. We can identify with the Palestinian people. Although our suffering is nothing compared to that of the Palestinians, we still feel that we understand what it is to be treated as second-class citizens.
To support the cause, really, I think everyone as a human being should just understand that this is a humanitarian crisis, an issue that doesn't matter where you're from or whether or not you're aligned with a specific region. It's more about, as a human being, caring for atrocities that are going on and have been sort of predicated through history in a time where we should have moved past this point. We should have moved past the point where genocidal rhetoric can be expressed so freely, openly and freely, and as a human being, as a man, I just can't stand with that.
So I'm Irish, and Ireland supports the people of Palestine. We know what it's like to be oppressed. It's wrong, they're killing men, women and children, and they're not going to win. And we've shown that everyone here supports the people of Palestine. We're with them, we support them.
The other thing is that apartheid doesn't end in a day. The South African apartheid didn't end because they just bended over and said, oh, of course you can have rights. It was a slow incremental changes that took place, and we're ready to follow it all the way through.
We are supporting the innocent people in Palestine, Gaza, all around the world, and because there's no justice for innocent people.
Peace and coexistence really is possible. I don't want to see innocent children, women, men of any colour, of any faith, no faith, anywhere, being killed in the name of what exactly? In whose name is this happening? Why is this happening still?
I don't like seeing innocent people being killed, and I don't like our government saying that that they're speaking for us, because they're not. And I just felt like I had to be here and add my voice to everyone.
And what would you say to some people who say, look, you guys are protesting, I support what you're doing, but really it's having no effect?
Well, I feel like there's more of us than there are people in government, so it's important for us to come together as a collective and show that they don't speak for us. So it's important to show up and speak up.
First of all, we have social media now, so now that our voices is going out to more and more people. I think now the protests are definitely far more important. There's more numbers, I would say, to when I used to go out maybe 10 years ago to these protests. There's definitely more knowledge about what's going on, and you know, we need these protests for all these new people that have learnt about Gaza to come out and also share their support for the cause.
You have to keep coming out and stepping up and showing people what you want. Like, how else are we going to make a change? I don't know what else to do, so this is the only thing in my power to do.
Oh, I think we're doing something. I think it makes the government's position more and more untenable. They've had to say a few little things recently like, oh no, well, we think it's going a bit far. If we weren't doing this, they wouldn't be saying that. It's really important, and we need to raise awareness of the issue. Some people don't even know about the issue of Palestine. We're out here letting the world know that people are on the side of the Palestinians and that the occupation has got to end, and that what Israel is doing is completely illegal and has been for 75 years.
It means something to the people of Palestine, to the people of Gaza, that we are out, that we are doing something. We must continue to do it until there is a settlement, until there is a ceasefire, and there is a right for the Palestinians to return to their homeland.
Well, it's hard not to be disillusioned, because nothing does seem to happen, but at the same time, if we all sat at home, then everybody else will think that we're all colluding and we're all happy with the situation. So my responsibility is that I let people know that I'm not happy about what's happening.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Do you know why they nicked her?
I'm not sure. She said something. I'm not sure what she said. I'm not sure what she said, but obviously she said something. The police didn't like it. They chucked her in a van. But definitely we'll look into it.
Yeah, and is anyone going to the police station to...
I'm not sure what police station she actually went to.
So you're on this big protest today, so can you tell us why you're here?
Well, look, we're here for a number of reasons. First of all, there's a fundamental message these marches deliver to the Palestinian people, which is we see you, we hear you, do not stand alone. And every time we march, my comrades in Palestine will message me and say, we see what you're doing. The second message is to our political leaders, who for 4 months now have been trying to normalise mass slaughter, have been trying to tell us that what we're witnessing is not a genocide, despite what the ICJ says, that says it's okay, it's all right for Israel to kill 28,000 Palestinians, including more than 12,000 children. It's all right to forcibly displace 1.7 million people. It's okay if Israel cuts off food, water and essential supplies, so that 300,000 Palestinians in the north of Gaza are now facing famine and are having to subsist on animal feed. So the reason we're here is to deliver a message to our political leaders that we don't accept this, that you are complicit in genocide, you do not represent us, and you need to change. And of course this march is particularly significant because next Wednesday our MPs have an opportunity again to vote for an immediate ceasefire. So part of the message today is you need to vote for that ceasefire, and if you don't, we will hold you accountable at the ballot box.
Right, so we're at the front of the march. We can't see the back of the march, that's how big it is, and we're heading towards the Israeli embassy. where we're going to be protesting against the genocide. So it looks big, it looks angry, and it looks loud. Some people say these protests aren't working. What would you say to that?
It's whether it's working or not. How do we determine working? We're making noise, we're educating people. Whether or not these protests make an infinite amount of difference, we're educating people on the Palestinian cause.
It's slow, but the tide is turning. There's moves in political backgrounds, you can see it. What was humanitarian pause is now being spoken about in governments as a humanitarian ceasefire. There is movement, there is change coming, and we can talk about Palestine much more freely than we used to be able to.
Well, we have to keep pressing. You know, the government's got to understand and realise that ordinary, normal people like us want this to stop. It's been done in our name. We are supporting the bombing of these kids. We're complicit. We should not be doing this.
I was here like in the anti-apartheid marches, and then the Palestinians were there. We were sort of supporting the Palestinians then, and you know, what, 40 years later, I'm still here, you know, marching for peace. I was marching for anti-apartheid in South Africa, and now it's anti-apartheid in Palestine I'm fighting for. So that's why I'm here. I can't just sit at home, see all those images from Gaza and do nothing. So the little I can do is come out here and march.
This is for the world to see that this is what's happening in Palestine. Every second, every minute that babies are getting killed.
I'm here today because I'm Palestinian, and since I've been born, I've been an activist for this. This needs to stop. It's part of my identity, and we can't stop. We just can't stop until it's ended.
And what would you say to the politicians, including the Labour Party?
Without swearing, shame on you, absolutely shame on you. You're despicable human beings. I don't know how you can call yourself humans and allow this state, which is created on racism, on terror, on violence, fund it, enable it, and continue to speak in your houses around humanitarian issues and complete denial of what you're actually doing. It's gaslighting, it's abuse, and it's actually disgusting. Shame on you, shame on you.
And what would you say to the government and, say, the Labour Party now?
I say shame on you and call for a ceasefire right now.
And what would you say to Labour, who are the opposition?
Oh, for fuck's sakes. Like, you're as bad as the Tory party. Like, I was just saying that... What's the Labour leader called again?
Starmer.
Starmer is basically a Tory politician. He's just in a Labour party, but, like, what are you doing? It's mad. Like, I have Israeli and Jewish friends, and the amount of common support for the Gazan people, it's shared. No one wants this. No one wanted the attacks to happen, and similarly, no one wanted the ongoing devastation and destruction of a people to happen as well. Like, what are we doing?
And if Rishi Sunak was standing right next to us now, what would you say to him?
Oh, fuck it. I don't know if I'd say something. I don't know. I don't think I'd say something. It'll be... I don't think anyone would say anything. It wouldn't be words, it would be actions.
I'll never vote Labour again.
Yeah, I could never vote for those people. They have supported a genocide. That's just inexcusable. I can't comprehend why you would do that as a human.
I would say that neither the opposition or the government are speaking for the people of this country. The vast majority of the people in this country want a ceasefire and an end to the illegal occupation of Palestine, and the government needs to do what they are put in office to do, which is to call for a ceasefire. That's what the people want of this country.
The government and people in power are not listening to our voices. It is demoralizing, and I just want to tell them that, you know, they can't do this in our name.
And as a young person, what would you say to the government who refused to call for a ceasefire?
I would do that the innocent lives of people in Palestine. It's not a right to kill innocent children.
I would say shame on you, because all of them have got blood on their hands. They're actively allowing genocide to happen.
What would you say to your politicians, including the Labour Party?
Fuck you.
Yeah, good, I love it.
That they have no moral, our politicians have just no moral courage and no backbone, and they're disappointing, and we need another option. Yeah. Okay. I would ask them to have moral courage, basically.
Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak are standing here now. What would you say to them?
I would say they are at the moment complicit in killing thousands of children, thousands of innocent people, and supporting an apartheid state, which they themselves fought against in South Africa, but they themselves are supporting an obvious apartheid state now.
We can't be any more disappointed in the Tories than we already are, but the Labour Party have let us down. No surprise under the current leadership. We need bold and courageous leaders to stand for humanity. There's a human rights lawyer at the head of the Labour Party, and right now he's standing on the side of an oppressor.
Shame on you, absolute shame on you. An ex-humanitarian lawyer? I'm sorry, he does not represent the majority of us.
Well, what I know, there are bombs being dropped on children, and I think that is wrong, so that's why I want to help Palestine. I want them to vote for the ceasefire because all the children's lives are at stake, and I just want to help them.
I mean, I don't think they care about what I think, but if enough of people get on the street, the 99% of us can fight up against that 1%. So I think all I'd say is speak to those people that maybe are looking at this and, on the fence. Definitely come down and show your support. It means the whole world, doesn't it?
I think the whole of the public is absolutely disgusted at the disgraceful behaviour of all the major parties in the UK system. The UK people do not want this war. The UK people want a ceasefire. The UK people do not want to see pictures of dead babies and children. There are no people here that have any affiliation to any dodgy or terrorist organisations, and the UK governments and the Labour Party need to listen to the voice of their own people, their own population, who are absolutely disgusted at the disgraceful behaviour expressed by our politicians. Can't say any more than that.
Why you're here today to join this protest?
Well, I've come on the protest today because I'm absolutely outraged by our government not even voting for a simple ceasefire. And sometimes you come here and you think, we're not having any effects, what's the point? But then when you speak to Palestinians and they're saying, look, the fact that you're here means a lot to us, it's giving us hope. Also, it's saying that ordinary people are not sanctioning this genocide and ordinary people are speaking out against them. I think is a ceasefire enough?
No, look, a ceasefire is just the beginning. A ceasefire is crucial now, because unless there's a ceasefire, thousands of more Palestinians are going to die, and we will not get humanitarian aid into Gaza. But once a ceasefire is called, we need to draw attention to the need to end the root cause of this, and that means ending the military occupation and dismantling Israel's system of apartheid.
Right, we're here now at the end of the demonstration. I can't see the end. I can't see the beginning, so it's been pretty big today. We can't get to the Israeli embassy, which is a shame. I would have liked to have gone past it, but there you go, it's democracy in the UK for you. We're not allowed to march where we want to march, and we're not allowed to say what we want to say to the people who we want to say it to. We've been talking to people all day, and people are still angry, people are still coming out, people are still going to come out tomorrow and the day after tomorrow until there's a ceasefire, but also people are saying it needs to go further than a ceasefire, and Israel should be in front of the courts charged with genocide.